Alright guys, so we're out in the shop. We got the new way machinery set up here. And what I want to show you is a valve guide that I just recently came across. So I got a bunch of different valves here. So this is going to be for a 38mm valve. So if you look at this, I don't know if you could see it. So look at the way that valve is sitting. You see how this side over here is hitting? And that side over there, I mean, let me get a pick. I mean, I could stick this pick in here. Now, let me hold it up and see if we can see some light through it. I mean, you can see right down in through there. And this valve is, I'll make sure you know, pushed down all the way. And look at that. That's just the way the guide is. So this is why, you know, you really got to check your guides when you install them. You know, you got to make sure those guides are true. I don't know exact machining processes that they go through when they make the guides, but you know, we got some more guides here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this guide out. I'm going to install the new guide, and then we're going to cut the seat for the new valve. You can't cut the seat. I mean, that valve was so high on this side that if you cut the seat, you know, you're going to end up changing the entire seat just to match that guide. So you come into a situation like that, you just got yourself a bad guide. So go ahead, take that guide out, put a new guide in, and then check it before you do it. You want your valve to pretty much sit pretty close to concentric when you put that new guide in. Now when you put new guides in, you're definitely going to have to recut your seats. So this machine here, it drops down. You know, you put your pilot in. Yeah, this guide is wonky. It won't even accept this pilot. So before I even show any of this hogwash, let me pull this guide out, put a new guide in, and then I'll get back. Alright guys, so here's the guide. Here's the guide I removed. And here's the new guide. I have shaped it. I've sanded it down to really fine sand, and then I've taken it with my buffer piece and polished the tip. That's going to be in the intake tube. So now we're going to install the guide, and after we install the guide, we're going to recut the seats. We'll get the new guide in. Now let's just throw a valve in it and see how we are. Get it in some light, see if we're any better than last time. Oh yeah, much better, much better. Alright, so now that the valve is pretty much sitting where it's supposed to be, now we can go ahead and cut the seats with the machine, put the pilot in, cut the seats to this size valve, 5-angle valve job. I don't have a tripod. I'd love to show you guys exactly how this thing works. It'll be pretty hard without it. It's in the house, the old workshop. Since then moved everything out here. Got another one of these machines over here, and recently put up some pegboard. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I put up some pegboard, so things are a little bit, you know, I didn't like working out here, but my girlfriend hates the frickin' dust and shit, and I can understand it. I mean, honestly, I never planned on making a job out of this. I was just building this stuff for myself, and a lot of people started calling. So now that we're doing it out here proper. So we got a lot of this stuff going on in the shop. So next, I'll try to do as much as I can, I guess, on film. Take this, this in here. There's a little pin that goes through. It helps you seat the pilot. Give it a good push. Always give it a push and then a turn. Pin out, pin away. Alright. So now that we got the pilot in, what we're going to do now is we're going to cut the throat angle. So we're going to use the 75 cutter. Slip that on down there. You just want to check to make sure the blades are within the seats area, which it is. Let me turn down this light. Let me just turn that off. So, you know, I kind of want to use two hands on this. So what happens now is you detach this. This comes down here and engages onto the seat cutter. And there's a switch up here. You turn this on. Hold on. That was one of my neighbors just came by to borrow some tools. So I'm going to cut this 75-degree throat cut, and I'll get back to you. So as of now, I have come in, I've cut the 75, and I've really done the throat cut on it. You can see down there, that's the 75, and then you can see this big wide 45. Now what I'm going to do is come through, and then I put the Dykem on it. Now I'm going to cut the 60, which splits the 75 and the 45, and I'm going to cut the 35, which comes the 30, which comes in on the top of the 45. Once I get that all set, then I'll come through and I'll cut my 15-degree on the mill with the radius cut into the bowl. So I'll go ahead and cut the 60 and the 30, and I'll get back to you. Nice, clean, beautiful concentric seat. Nice, even 60-degree angle all around. So now I'm going to come through, switch carbides, and I'm going to go into the 30. So we've done the 30-degree cut, and as you can see over here, it's coming in small. Then over here, it's kind of coming into the chamber wall. And this is why I do the big relief in the chambers. So what I'm going to do next is cut the radius cut on the mill, and then I'll be back. It's back over here now. As you can see, that comes in with a nice radius. And now, when you look at the ring on the seat, it's nice and concentric. That's why you have to radius these chambers. You know, this side over here was radiused a while ago, just to remove the bulk material. I was saying, my phone just rang. You know, now it's got a nice concentric seat. You can see that blue 45 ring is all nice and beautiful all the way around. So we have the 15 that radius into the bowl, and we cut the 30, which ties in the 15 to the 30, so you can't see a blue in between there. Then you can see the 45 that's blue. Then you can see the 60 that's silver, and then the 75 below that goes down into the throat. So that's a 5-angle valve job. I gotta say, I love this thing. I love these machines. I got two of them. This one's a slow speed. This one's the high speed. You know, it hooks to that track. It has a dolly system. I can move this thing back and forth. Just the way this thing, you can hold on to it with two hands. You know, it really stabilizes that seat, the cutters onto that seat. Like, you know, I've had this system before. I just didn't have the entire, you know, the expensive part. Even though, like, these cutters are insanely expensive, and I have a bunch of them, you know, it's just, this thing is next level for expenses. So now that I got this thing, I mean, what happened before was, when I was cutting them, you know, this thing has just got so much torque, and it applies it so evenly when it's cutting the seats. It just, the amount of the way it removes the material is just unbelievably even and smooth. And, you know, you could stabilize the top of the pilot. You know, before, if you were using, I was using a drill, or if I was using the T-handle, I mean, you just couldn't get the same type of results. I'm absolutely, totally excited about this, and I'm loving it. So this is the first cylinder head that I've done on my new machine. So put guides and seats in it, and until next time, this is a customer cylinder heads, just getting, you know, refinished. You know, this was a stock head, so we ported it. We're doing the chamber reliefs on both sides. Do the chamber reliefs, ported guides, polished chamber, polished exhaust, and then it'll go down and get milled. After that, I'll flow test it, log all the numbers and stuff like that. The guy's got a couple of different cylinder heads from me, 3 actually. So you know, when I did the equations, it came out to a 37 millimeter valve. So I'm currently making them 238s, and the one I made them before was a 36 on the intake. So usually when it comes up to a certain, like on this instance where it came to a 37, you would want to usually favor the smaller side, or else, you know, your torque will drop off. You will make a little bit more power the other way, but you're going to sacrifice a lot under the curve. And the way to build the most powerful track engine is to keep the most amount of power under the curve. If you're building for like a dyno, you know, and you don't care about power under the curve, you don't care how long it takes to get to that amount of power, but as long as it gets there, you know, you want to go bigger. But, you know, if you're focused on actual drivability, sometimes bigger isn't better. You know, a lot of the times bigger is better, but this happens to be a stock pairing with a stock pairing carburetor. So so that's a 5-angle valve job on the new way valve seat cutting driver and equipment. This is Paul from Paul's Karts, and until next time, have a nice day.